Hello and Assalamualaikum. My name is Ikwan. So today in this video, we want to briefly explain about an article that we did research about with the title of The Effect of Underwriters Market Share Spread, Management Earnings Forecast Bias and Accuracy on Underpricing of Malaysian IPOs. So there are two problems in this article. So firstly, the relation between the underwriters market share and spread on underpricing of Malaysian IPO. And then secondly, the relation between underwriters management earning forecast bias and accuracy on underpricing of Malaysian IPO. So there's a 4 factor divided into 2 category. Basically there are twofold of problem in this article discussing about how one financial backers performance could affect IPO resulting in underpricing in Malaysia. So without further ado, I will pass the baton to my friend Gurmit, and he will start explaining about the article.
A very good morning, basically, to lecturer. My name is Gurmeet. So I am actually presenting after Aki. For our title, The Effect of Underwriters Market Share Spread and Management Earnings Forecast Bias and Accuracy on Underpricing of Malaysians IPOs, basically, which is the initial public offerings. Okay, so firstly, I will be going on the review of literature, okay, from one part of mine. Basically, the cited sources are relevant to the studies. All the citations were made to show the readers about the study that has been done in a proper research. By listing sources, they used to get the information and also to giving credit to other researchers and acknowledge their ideas. So to be very frank about this particular review, it's quite narrow actually, because at first underwriters, it's more focusing on the underwriters market share, and they are usually in a great competition for new businesses in underwriting, basically. And this basically the competition is because they have underwriting fees as a percentage of proceeds raised, okay, between in the companies, basically, and they are more significant for IPOs compared to seasoned equity or debt offerings, basically. So this is the main thing in the review of literature, basically. Other than that, basically, because this is very important, because underwriters actually may have to face lots of loss, basically, in the future revenues of the new issues, which is owing to its association with overpriced offerings. So it's very important for them to look into the price so that the investors can basically trust trust the share, and thus they can actually invest in the market. So this is some of the importance part of the of the review of the literature, which they are studying on. Because speaking about the underwriter spread, the underwriters actually have a very important role actually in the process of the initial public offerings, as they are advisors basically to the issuing companies, and they set offer prices, they sell new issues and everything. So as initial public offerings is all about offering the shares at the first hand to the public, basically. So it's very, very important for the underwriters to basically look into the offerings of the of the price, basically, of the share, so that basically the investors would be likely to actually invest in the market. Currently, I will be proceeding to my next presentation, which is based on the design and procedures for this journal. Okay, So the design procedures that was taken place is like they are taking about a sample of 190 Malaysian IPOs which is listing in the main market of Bursa Malaysia, which is starting from the January 1st 2002 to February 29 2012. So this data was actually used and they were analyzed through univariate analysis and pooled ordinary least square regression. So these are the methods that is being used for them to actually know about the the topic that we are basically researching on basically. So based on the market share and the underwriters offering price. So these are the things which is related. Other than that, because this paper is considered the first study to extend the IPO literature by investigating the relationship between underwriters' market share, underwriter spread, earnings forecast bias, earning forecast accuracy, and IPO underpricing in an emerging country such as Malaysia. This study involves repeating a study using the same methods but with different subjects and experimenters. So it's very important for them to check based on the underwriter's market share, the underwriter spread, because when you buy a certain share right from the underwriters, there is a certain spread before you can basically earn a profit. And other than that, based on the earnings, like when you buy a certain share, you want profit, so you want the earnings basically. So you need to know what is the forecast of the future of the market itself. Other than that, your earnings, how accuracy it is basically your share that you are actually buying, how accuracy it is that you can actually really earn money from buying the shares. And other than that, IPO and underpricing, like in certain countries, right, they just offer at a certain low price to the public so that they can have a share. So that's how actually they basically do in the design and procedures. Other than that, they also actually look into the design and the procedures where they provide additional evidence regarding on the financial performance of the Malaysian IPO market. This is very important because investors will have to check the performance of the companies so that they they can invest in the market. They can invest invest in the market by buying the shares basically. So this is how actually the design and also the procedures of this literature basically. Thank you. I'll be going to my third presentation, which is based on the data analysis and presentation. So actually this study data covers publicly available information gathered from IPOs, prospectuses and annual reports of the listed companies in Bursa Malaysia. This study samples includes companies that were incorporated on the main market of Bursa Malaysia for the duration from 2002 to 2012 based on this journal. A sample of 190 Malaysian IPOs listing on the main market in Bursa Malaysia from January 1 to February 29, 2012 was used, and collected data were analyzed through univariate analysis and pooled ordinary squared regressions. So the data that was actually used in this is quantitative basically, because this data was collected from the Bursa Malaysia IPO listing, which were considered as existing data. So it could be a secondary data basically, but it's a data which is based on the research, and it's very quantitative basically, where it has it has all the proper informations in it. And other than that, basically the hypotheses are tested. Basically we have the hypothesis, and they're tested by developing two portfolios on based on high and low underwriters market share, underwriter spread, and accuracy of earnings forecast, the future basically, that how their earnings of the investors would be. And the results is inconsistent with the hypothesis 1, suggesting that the underwriter's market share is negatively related with the underpricing. Yeah. On this basis, the finding does not support the hypothesis, the both hypotheses basically. The results for the hypothesis is that it rejects most of the hypotheses in the study. So this is basically the data analysis and presentation for this particular article.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Harid bin Mat Mal Hakim, and now I want to present the implication of the article, the effect of underwriters' market share, spread and management earning forecast, bias and accuracy on underpricing of Malaysian initial public offering (IPO). My first point in the slide is, to who does the implication affected to? In this study, the ones who are most affected are the regulators, investors, policymakers, as well as the underwriters. This is because its analysis of the role of various players, such as the issuers, underwriters, and investors, and the related institutional arrangement upon the market may offer some information to policymakers who are responsible for Malaysian financial markets' current reforms. Furthermore, the examination of the economic outcomes of the disclosing of earning forecast on underpricing is important for policymakers and different stock changes in their discussion of cost of litigation and potential modification in the requirement of issuing earning forecasts. Okay, now we move on to the effect of implication. For firstly, for policymakers, this study offers some insight for policymakers who are responsible for Malaysian financial markets' current reforms. Furthermore, knowing the importance of the economic outcomes of the earning forecast on underpricing for policymakers, they may adopt the findings in their discussion of cost of litigation and potential modification in the requirements of issuing earning forecasts. Okay, next point is for investors. Finding may improve their understanding of equity valuation, and for the underwriters, it will assist the investors in identifying underwriting costs. The results may improve in their insight of equity valuation. Okay, lastly is for underwriters. It is believed that studying the underwriting spread will assist in better comprehending other issues that are linked to the IPO costs in the Malaysian market. The finding of this research provide an opportunity for further research to investigate the effect of underwriters' market share and spread, and also the management earning forecast bias and accuracy on the IPO performance in the long term. Okay, thank you.
Hi, my name is Izaril Nashrik. So I'm going to present about the conclusions and the implications of our study. So the conclusion of the study is related to the original purpose of our paper. So the main purpose of this study is to examine the effect of attributes of underwriters and management earning forecasts on the underpricing of Malaysian IPOs. So these are some issues that need to be addressed. So there are 4 issues. One of them is the role played by the underwriter market underpricing, which supports the proposition that investors are incapable of predicting the signs of earning forecast error and employ this prediction in share pricing. So the studies has implications, of course, to the regulators, to the investors, as well as the underwriters. So after further examination of this paper, we can see that the economic outcome of the disclosing of earning forecasts on underpricing is important for policymakers. The discussion of cost of litigation and potential modifications in the requirements of issuing earning forecasts. So this study offers some insight for policymakers who are responsible for Malaysian financial market current reforms. So for the investors, it's good news for them as they can improve their understanding of equity valuation. So this would assist them in identifying underwriting costs. The results may improve their insights of equity valuation. So after further research of this investigation, the effect of the underwriter's market share and spread, we can see that as another extension of this research would be to examine the determinants and characteristics of underwriting market share in depth along the spread and context of the IPO markets in Malaysia.